Alright guys, what is up? Welcome back to Avorion with LD7, and today we're just gonna kind of take a look and see what we've been doing. We're about 67 hours into the play through all the way, so this game alone has been about 67 hours to get to where I'm at, but I wanted to show you kind of what my plan is before I take on the boss. So I'm sure you can see here we've got a shipyard, so I went ahead and built our own shipyard. The reason why I did this is if you are going to be building a lot of stations, you should build a shipyard because you don't have to pay every time you build this. You just have to do the material cost or whatever, and that's it. So it will save you a lot of money in the long run. In addition, if you've got the shipyard where you want to put the rest of your stations, it means you don't have to put warp drive systems and do all that nonsense in order to get it to where you want it to be. So I decided this is the sector I want to make my home base. It was empty, and more importantly, it's right next to the center. So the reason why you would maybe want to consider doing this, and you could have put it, I could have put it here, or I could have gone in, cleared out these pirates in here, and put it in this sector instead, and that probably would have given me some mines, but I don't have the Omicron potential to take on a pirate fleet by myself inside the barrier quite yet. Mainly because most of the pirates here, if you encounter a destroyer, they've got over 1 million shields and 1 million hull, and then if you encounter a carrier, it's the same thing. So I can only do about 20,000 Omicron worth of damage with the ship I've got, so it takes too much time, especially once the weapons overheat and everything. So anyway, we put our base right here so we can eventually build some turret factories and build some awesome turrets. So that is why I picked a spot so close to the center. If you put a turret factory station down in any system, right, you will be able to build the turrets. It just takes the component parts, but you don't actually have to pay for them, as I understand it. So that is useful because, especially once you get past the barrier, those turrets cost a lot. I was looking at one turret factory I found, and this is with the faction I allied with, and they wanted 30 million to build a railgun, something like that, which just seems insane. It wasn't even that good either. It was still less than 2,000 Omicron worth of damage with everything maxed. So my plan is to try to build my own turret factories so I can build my own turrets and not have to pay the 30 million credits every single time, because just buying the materials costs a lot. So I've flown around and I've gathered all the I think I have enough materials in here to build maybe 4 or 5 railguns with everything maxed out. So that feels like it'll probably be good enough to boost my DPS, assuming I get lucky on the turret factories. So why we are so close to the center. The closer you get to the center, the higher technology level. The turret factories, research stations, equipment docks, all of those kind of fall in the same category. The closer you get to the center, the higher the tech level of what they sell. And what the tech level basically means, that's going to be the base level for how good the turrets and systems and stuff like that is going to be. So you want as high of a tech level as possible in order to get the best stuff. So by putting it right next to the center, it basically is going to default to the highest technology level every single time. So I could build 4 or 5 turret factories in here. All of them would be the highest tech level. They just might have slightly different options when it comes to the turrets you can build. Alright, so that's that. Kind of makes sense. So I built a shipyard in this sector to kind of claim it, get it set up. I also built this half-size battle carrier to kind of defend it. I put a couple of systems in there. It's got about 4k DPS, so between that and the 1.3k on the shipyard, I'm hoping that this will be enough to kind of ward off any pirates. They're both fairly strong, so it should be okay, I'm hoping. But we'll kind of find out. Then, I mean, granted, the ship that I normally fly has so much warp range that I can get over here in 2 jumps. I just want to have a little something in here to kind of ward off any intruders if they do happen to show up. So, okay, that's kind of the plan. We're going to be working on some turret factories. I guess some other things to talk about. To build the shipyard, you want to have about 50 million credits. So I built back up, but it cost about 50 million. it's like 48 and 48.8 something like, or 47.85 something like that for the actual station cost to transform the founding ship into a shipyard, and then you want to have a little bit extra so you can, you know, build the actual station block. I wasn't able to do the one that I wanted. I wanted to use the one that has a little bit of shields with it. I might change that later. I just didn't have enough money because that template cost 3 million, whereas the one I used only cost 100,000. So just keep that in mind. If you're going to try to do something similar, you want to have at least 50 million before you start trying to mess around with building a shipyard. After that, the turret factories are only 30 million a pop, so those are a lot more doable. So we're already halfway there. Once I hit like 34 million maybe, I'll probably go ahead, come back into the center here, build our founding ship at our shipyard, and put up a turret factory so we can see if we get lucky on the RNG and get some good railgun options. After that, I mean, what I could do is try to build some combat fighters as well, just to, you know, make it even better. And the reason why you would want to build them over just buying them, railgun fighters are the only ones that are really worth using because they have a far enough range that even though as you're moving around, like, your fighters won't be able to keep up with the enemy ships regardless of what type you build. So railgun fighters kind of overcome that because they can shoot like 20 kilometers away, so it doesn't matter if they can keep up, they can just shoot from afar. And in fact, it's actually better if the enemies are farther away from those because they won't be able to destroy them, typically speaking. So with that, that's kind of the plan for what I am going to be doing next, is just kind of wait for our stations to turn over, generate me the money I need. But let's also take a look and see what we've done. So as you can see, inside the barrier, I am allied with all the factions except for this guy over here. But they're kind of on both sides of the barrier, so whatever, who cares. I would like to get this faction as well, if I can. I just haven't messed around yet, because it takes a while to build a reputation. But we also have a bunch of stations now, so all of these are basically mines, except for the little solar power plant factory I've got over here. So I've got a factory chain to make plasma cells. And then all the rest of these are just various mines. So I got really lucky in this faction. So most of these are actually gold, silver, gold, plat, silver, plat, whatever. So they're the like really high value mine materials, which is awesome because normally you don't get lucky enough and the demand isn't high enough for you to have this many. So we've upped like our station count. So there's 6 in here. One of these is a ship, so this is a mining ship. So 6 stations there. Then we've got like maybe another 8 or 9 stations over here. So they're all passively generating us credits. I don't know, like probably all the new stations haven't broken even yet, but that doesn't really matter. We generate credits pretty fast now. Like typically speaking, in 10 minutes I'll go up like 5-6 million credits, which is awesome because that's, you know, decent revenue generation. Like I'd like to get it closer to 10 million, so a million a minute, but that'll take a little bit more doing. I need to build some actual product stations as opposed to just mines to make that happen, which we might take a look at in another episode. But I just kind of wanted to give you guys a little overview of setting up a base towards the center as a, you know, viable strategy before you go take on the boss or the center, right? Because this guy in here, he's going to be pretty powerful, so I would suggest that you have 100k Omicron before you take on the fight. Otherwise it's going to be difficult for you if you don't. In addition to that, I want to upgrade our ship a little bit more. So I like this design. It seems to be pretty good, but to scale it, I think I was looking at like 125% more. So I've already taken this up 50% from, or 150% from the base template. So going another 125 is 52 million. So I've got some generation to do and things like that, but just wanted to give you guys an update. So guys, if you enjoyed the episode today, be sure to like, comment, subscribe as always, and until next time, we will see ya.